Well, hello, everyone. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. Thanks for the intro. The positive comments. I whipped that thing together this afternoon. Thought I'd say what people thought about it. Mike, what's going on? How are you doing?
I'm just hanging in there. It's rainy Southern California day. Big storms coming, and just trying to stay warm. For California being down to almost 45 degrees, it's way chilly for us. So I'm not going to go to the beach today. But yeah, you're recovering from Christmas, just hanging out with family. My oldest is recovering from wisdom teeth extraction, so she's miserable. So
I am sorry to hear that.
That led me to a trip to GameStop today, or at least I got my wife to go for me. So that was interesting. I've never been to GameStop before.
I have a love-hate relationship with GameStop, honestly, and so much of it has to do with I'm old school and I like Xbox One games, and I kind of turned into my grandmother at the counter going, why does this cost $80 million? But that's just me. So, but hey, everybody in the chat, we are absolutely glad you're with us. We hope you had a great holiday and you're going to have a great New Year's. So a lot has happened in the entertainment world since we have streamed last. Obviously, there's Spider-Man. There's all sorts of kerfuffle things going on with Marvel, including some rumors that I'm going to be covering on my own channel. But the big news is Wheel of Time, Episode 8, dropped Friday. Mike, what do you think?
It's about what I expected. It's been a train wreck since the first episode, and it's completely on its side and it's on fire, and it is what it is. But I mean, all we can do is drive by and kick some sand on it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't even know. It's just, At this point, I'm kind of jaded. The whole thing. I'm just like, yeah, okay, all right. It's fine. I'll move on. Maybe there's something else to watch on TV.
Why don't you just? You mean there's no rewatchability for Wheel of Time Season 1?
Oh, hell no. Oh God. Okay, let me explain. Let me explain it like this, Corey. So yesterday, I was thinking to myself, you know what? I should do a video where I compare and contrast other live, book to live action adaptations. And having already seen Legend of the Seeker recently, I was looking for some other ideas. And Netflix has until the 21st the Chronicles of Shannara series on there that was originally made by MTV. And so I sat down and said, okay, I'm going to watch this. And it was so cringe. I was just the whole time going, I can't believe they made it. What are they doing? What is this? I couldn't believe it. And then I kept thinking to myself, but you know what? It's actually still better than Wheel of Time.
That's the thing. And speaking of better than Wheel of Time, our special guest tonight, the Prophet of the Dragon, has joined us. Hail, good sir. How are you?
Hey, man. How are you? Glad I could make it. Do I sound okay? Sorry, man. I'm a little late. I know.
No, you sound great. No, sorry to interrupt you, Mike. Go ahead. But hey, yeah, Prophet, we are talking about Wheel of Time, and Mike was just sharing his story about how even watching the Shannara Chronicles It puts it into perspective as
Yeah,
to how
I did-
bad
I-
Wheel of Time is.
Well, I
Nope.
heard the rewatchability question, and I'm sitting here shaking my head, going, "Nope, there's no redeeming
Nope.
factors whatsoever."
I'm getting a hot mic, so let me turn myself down a little bit. You know, the settings, they do say that it'll automatically adjust the gain, so I didn't really worry about it there. All right. Chat, let me know.
Willow Bark, Hale, how you doing? I'm gonna vamp for you. He says, I won't even let my dog watch Wheel of Wokeness. I get that. You don't want your animals to be mistreated.
Probably a good
Obviously,
idea.
Rafe, yeah. Boy, there are some interesting things floating around out there.
Yeah, somebody sent me something
And
curious. I'm
yeah,
curious if you heard it.
yeah. Does it have to do with Reddit
Yes, it does. A certain
and a
warder.
certain warder?
There
Yep.
you go. I'll let you proceed. I'll be quiet.
Oh, see, we're going to tread carefully here, folks. And one thing I don't like is when people make up BS drama. In this case, I know I was wondering why in an 8-episode season, did the showrunner decide to fabricate a huge character arc for a warder who doesn't really appear in the books and then take it, and then essentially transform the entire, oh God, see, I'm going to get angry. The whole instead of going to Camelin, they went to Tarvalin. What this has to do with is the actor who portrays Stefan. Did anyone else find it curious? And I'm speaking to you, Prophet and Mike, just how much time in what was it, episode 5 and in episode 6, we got to know all about this character of Stefan?
You want to take it first, Mike? Or you want me to go? Because I found it ridiculous.
My comment's quite simple. I just thought, like, why are we spending so much time on this? I don't like all the ceremony stuff. I don't like the braiding hair braiding ceremony stuff. I don't like the lantern ceremony stuff. I don't like the different kinds of funeral stuff. I didn't like, every time they add something that's like ceremonies and randomness, I don't like it. So this whole plot
Mike?
reminded me of that. Yeah.
Up your mic. Up your
Yeah.
mic 10%.
I'm quiet now.
Little love.
Yep, up your mic.
This is TRW's
Perfect.
fault. This is TRW's
Yep.
fault.
Yeah, you're perfect there.
Run
Okay.
with that.
Anyways, yeah. So I just was like, you know what? It's just completely lost on me why we're going off in this. Because the entire time, you guys, I'm thinking they should have this plot line. They should have this scene. I wanted to see this. I wanted to see that. And when they put stuff like that in there, I'm thinking they could have deleted 20 minutes of this nonsense and put something in we all wanted to see. So I think it was just more like frustration on my part. Why are we getting to see this when I wanted to see something else?
Yeah, well, I've developed this thing where I start screaming at the TV. I don't know when it started. So as of late, I think it didn't start with the Wheel of Time, but I guess when just television as a whole started taking serious decline. But I clearly remember repeating in my head and out loud to the detriment to my family that who cares? Who cares? It's literally the episode of who cares. I don't care. I don't care about any of this. Not one bit. I don't know who does. I don't care about Steppen. You should have wrapped Steppen up in 2 seconds. His Aes Sedai dies. Steppen goes into a battle craze right into all the Gildean troops, takes out about 20 of them and dies. That's all you need to do.
A hero's death. A hero's death.
And Steppen's done.
Yeah. Instead, so where we're going with all this, I started telling a story. And Mike, I don't know if you have the link up or not. I can share it.
The Reddit one, yeah.
Yep. So I'm going to say this. This is rumor. This is speculation. I am not saying that a certain showrunner cast his boyfriend in an overly prominent role through 1.5 episodes in an 8-episode TV show. I am not saying that.
You're not? I'll say
no.
It. Oh, wait, I won't say it on your show. Sorry.
No, I'm not saying that. And, now that we're full screen, where this comes from is Reddit. I don't spend time on Reddit. I don't. I occasionally will hear
Reddit
things.
is cancer.
Yes, I Twitter is almost enough for me, to be honest with you. But what's fascinating is, I mean, we all see things and we wonder why. You know, is it just incompetence? Were they just not paying attention? It's just at what point are certain decisions intentional? You know, and then what could maybe speculatively be the motivation behind that. And in this case, the top of this article actually asked people, are they even still watching this show on this whole Wheel of Time thread? And then it proceeds to offer speculation by these individuals on Reddit saying Stefan was in these episodes. Why did they do it? Interestingly enough, on Instagram, a certain showrunner posted a picture of was it the Mediterranean? Or where were they? New Zealand? Mike, do you remember? Or Zach?
No, I
Or
just remember
Kyle?
it was a nice little view anyway.
Yeah, it had a very French Riviera
See if I
table,
can
high
find
dollar
it here.
value lunch scene going on. And a certain showrunner of a certain book adaptation was saying that he unfortunately was enjoying the view alone because his boyfriend, the warder, was busy with his Aes Sedai.
There we go.
There we go. You're a miracle, man. So we're not just making this stuff up. It's fascinating. But if you wanted to know a potential answer why, God, among all the other really questionable decisions from season one, why this guy Stefan needed to suddenly be on our screens. I don't know. Maybe this is a potential. I don't know. What do you guys think? Prophet, Mike, what do you think?
I think he cracked the code because I couldn't figure it out. I just came upon this like somebody sent this to me from Reddit just to see if I had seen it. So I was gonna try and do some checking to see where it even came from. Obviously, you have the semi-smoking gun here, but I don't see any other good reason. And to be honest, from the male feminist himself, I think that would probably be all the reason he needed. To be honest.
Yeah, we've got Paul Woolley. Hey, Wolfley. He says he stopped watching in the middle of the first episode. I went back so I could enjoy Shad on Night's Watch reviews. Well, now you're enjoying Corey DB, Mike, and the Prophets reviews. So, Hale, thank you for being here. Yeah, that first episode, the very first video that I made on this, I wasn't kidding when I said it was about 18 seconds in on Moiraine's voiceover, where it's men bad, men bad, men bad. Where I was just like, this is not in the spirit of Robert Jordan's books, nor is it in the character's voice that she claims to be portraying. I don't know, Mike, you're digging around there in the dumpster fire that is Reddit. Have you found anything of interest?
Well, just this right here. Again, anyone can say anything on the internet. You don't know what's true, what is it. But this guy speculates along the same path as we have been speculating, which is, it was about getting Alana and her warders more screen time. Why did we need to know more screen time on Alana and her warders? Because Rafe's boyfriend was one of the warders. And it's just, it's not new information, I guess. It's been talked about for, most of the day today. But yeah, one of the things I'm always curious about is, is that even a good, I asked the question, was it somebody he was dating that he gave a role to, or was it somebody he met after casting that he, started dating afterwards?
Or a combination of the two?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
go ahead.
Because that's kind of shady. If it was a man doing that to a woman, like, you're a director, showrunner, and you start dating a female cast member, there's all that Me Too stuff that happens, and you're like, it's just the power discrepancy. You're not supposed. It's just you're not supposed to do it.
Well,
I guess there's no law against it, but I mean, it's just not. It doesn't give me good feelings.
Well, I'm assuming they cast him for the role because he's I think from Vikings. One of the brothers from the Viking show. So they seem to be going into a lot of those the Viking type shows to get a bunch of
Uh-huh.
their cast. So I don't know. It's a good question, but I don't know that it. I
I
guess
mean,
it, yeah.
to be fair though, to be fair, if I'm a showrunner and I'm dating somebody, and they're like, "Hey, can you put me in as a
Yeah.
role?" So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna
Yeah,
do it.
probably.
I mean, there's
Yeah.
no doubt about it.
Well,
Of
but
course.
there's a difference
If
between,
my
I
kids
think,
want to be in it, hell yeah, you're coming in.
yeah, but I think there's a difference between casting your boyfriend and then dedicating a whole plot
Oh yeah, oh
storyline
yeah,
and wasting a
absolutely.
whole episode on your
That's a good
boyfriend.
distinction. Yeah, that's a good distinction.
Just make your boyfriend or girlfriend or kids somebody that survives the whole story, and then they could be in every episode.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you know what I mean. So I agree with you
Yeah.
though. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean the thing that I found incomprehensible was I thought they were going to build that water up to something else. And that doesn't mean I wanted them to. It just means that why the hell are we screwing around with this guy? Like, and why is, and I'm totally blanking on the Aes Sedai who was not there and did not die that way and was not part of the women's studies coven sitting in front of Logain. It was Alana, it was Moiraine, and then oh
What,
Lord, what was
Leandrin?
her name? Oh no, wait, with Leandrin, but then there was the other one, the Stefan's Aes Sedai,
I
the
don't
one
remember
that
her name.
died. Yeah, it was an African American actress who was playing a character that did not belong there, was never near there in the books, and actually was killed, if I remember correctly, by outside of the way gates when they were trying to sneak out Egwene and Nynaeve.
I agree with that.
Oh yeah,
point
thank
Zach
you.
made.
Yep, and I'm gonna.
I was saying, yeah, Rafe has really good taste anyway because his boyfriend is very attractive.
Oh, it's a
Daphne,
good-looking man.
thank you very much. It's Kareen. It's Kareen Nagashi.
Yes. there you
So
go.
yeah, Kareen Nagashi. Again, so I went, okay, they're fabricating this whole storyline. They keep saying it's another turning of the wheel. So maybe they're going to create some other thing where they're going to have two warders. They're going to have Lan, maybe somebody. I did not expect they were going to have this guy self-delete himself in the tower.
Yeah.
And I literally, I still don't understand, but add it to the list of things I don't understand about this show. One thing I haven't covered yet, and I will in the part 2 of my episode 8 review, is all of the nonsense that goes on with Nynaeve, Egwene, and the super
The Super Saiyan.
well, the super bonding lightning storm
Oh,
of
God, whatever.
absolute narrative bullshit. There's no
Yeah.
other way to say it.
Well, it happens. They can't give it to Rand though. That's right. I mean, they have to come up with some contrived way to do it because they can't give that victory to Rand. That's all that is, I think. But it's just, it's yes, yeah. I can't even wrap my head around it. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. I mean, the whole
Here's
show.
I mean, here's the thing. I mean, we could have, and I'm saying this if I were in a particularly indulgent mood, if they would have had a finale that was 100% what actually happened in the Blight, with all of them being there, Loyal, Lan, all of the Emmonsfield Five, including Matt.
Yeah.
They could have maybe made me 10% hate it 10% less. What they've done now is I don't have any more hate to give. I am at the point of ambivalence and just laughing at it right now because you cannot call this an adaptation. You can call it identity theft, but there is nothing here that's been adapted. That's just locations have been stolen, and then sometimes those locations aren't even correct. We have one of the 3 or one of the 5 main characters from Emmonsfield just is gone. And now, I mean, Mike, tell me what you think about this. Even mid-season, did you expect that things would go this sideways in the final episode? Prophet 2, what did you guys think was going to happen?
Well, you go first, Mike, because he asked you first.
Okay. It gives you more time to think about it. Unfortunately, you know what? I did. I did not think that this was going to turn out well for anybody. I did not have any hope at all. It was. I mean, it's hard to say that it was better or worse than I expected because I expected absolute catastrophe, which is basically what we got. So, I would say that it. Yeah, there's nothing redeeming about the final episode, and I do think that it's the episode that really pushed people over the edge there. I think there was a lot of people still hanging on. They really thought that it was going to be something, and just wait till the last episode. It'll be good. It'll all pull together, and everything will be wonderful. And I think that that group of people that were saying, yeah, it's fine. It's like that meme with the house on fire and the guy sitting there drinking his coffee,
Yeah,
and he says, it's fine. I think that those people finally got burned, and I
Yeah.
think that's why we're seeing, and we'll share this in a minute here, but the Rotten Tomato scores are even starting to come down.
Oh, it's all starting to go down. It's funny
Yeah.
because I got that "it's fine" meme posted in my work office, but it's one of those things. I think you're right. It's sort of I feel like it draws a parallel to Game of Thrones in that way. I know there was a group of people, at least in my own circle, that episode 6 broke them, and then there were some of them that was they held on. Even it's like something ain't right here, but I'm gonna hold. It's that episode 3 vibe with Game of Thrones where what the hell just happened at Winterfell. But no, you know what? If the last fight, if the last scenes in the last episode are fine, it'll be okay. They can still pull it back, and then 8 just completely broke them. So I think it's sort of that phenomenon. It's sort of the same thing. It's sort of weird how they can draw that parallel to where you got a mid-season episode that sort of has alienated half of your holder-ons, and then you just have the last episode that completely breaks them. But I think right, Texas. I think you said right from the beginning. I agree with you. And I said it to a bunch of people that I knew. We were going to know in the first episode, and I think we knew in the first 30 seconds
Minute.
to minute that
Yeah.
the way it was going to go. Because not only one did we have the completely fabricated scene with the Aes Sedai gentling the male, we go right from that to some women's circle bullshit. Excuse my language. I'm sorry. Women's circle
That's okay.
BS that doesn't. Who needs it? So right from there, it was like, okay, I know what we're in for. And
Well, yeah. And look at Ohek. Hey, Ohek, thanks for showing up again. You're right. What they did to Matt, and I said it in the beginning, I'll say it again. Matt is a degenerate. It was literally somebody somewhere decided that they needed to inflict their own daddy issues onto the characters throughout this adaptation. I think Matt got it worst of all. Again, Matt came from a good family.
yes,
In
excellent family.
with Abel and loved his dad. On screen, we get not only is he a degenerate gambler, he's a womanizer and a thief, and his mother is an alcoholic who doesn't take care of her own children, and his father is out banging, jailbait in Emmonsfield.
Yeah,
I mean, what kind of sick person does that?
so bad.
Am I wrong?
No, you're not. Well, that's the worst part about it is not only do they tear him down completely, and that was I think most of us that have eyes saw what was going to happen to Matt, pretty before the show even started. It was like, well, maybe the rest of the show will be good. Matt's screwed, but maybe the rest will be okay. And then they lay into his family completely and destroy them. It's just like, I mean, what they did. I mean, what they did to his parents are almost. I mean, they're just as bad as what they did to Matt himself. Just Matt's got more.
At least he still has his parents. I mean, they took Nynaeve's dad away completely.
Yeah,
and his mother.
Yeah, gone.
Because they're playing a long game with Nynaeve somewhere.
Yeah.
With her origin now being unknown, they're gonna twist that in there. She's gonna be someone related to somebody important somewhere because of course she is, right? because she can't just be a wisdom in a backwater town. That, is
You raise a
powerful.
good point. You raise a really good point, Prophet, and it is this. How many people out there actually believe that it is only going to be this adaptation's version of Rand that is the Dragon Reborn?
Negative. No way in hell. No way.
Yeah,
Mike,
no, nope, nope.
No.
In fact, I think
where
that
do
they're
we?
gonna. I think what they're gonna have a different character save the day in each of these seasons. So
I
the season
think
finale will have like somebody else.
I
be
think
the
I
hero.
think they're each going to have to break each a different Quindelar seal. That's my theory.
Yeah, that's mine as well.
Yep. I don't. Well, maybe I heard it from you. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
but
in one of my reviews. I don't know.
is
Yeah.
it?
Or it
That's
was on Renaissance Nerds stream. I said that. But
did you? Yeah, I think that's definitely right on. I think each one of them. I don't think it's over. I don't think you're gonna have one dragon. I think Rand's gonna f off for most of season 2, and we're gonna get a bunch of the girls and Perrin being a girl, and maybe some Matt being evil, and all of a sudden Rand will show up in the 7th episode of season 2, and he'll have the dragons on his arms and a whole bunch of Aiel behind him, and we won't see any of that probably. It'll just
I want to
happen.
call out. I want to call out the Ostalesis. Hail! Thanks for coming back to another one of my live streams. He says it seems these people have no idea who fantasy fans are. I agree with you.
Yeah.
However, I think they absolutely know what they're doing,
Yes.
and they
Yeah.
know why they're doing it. I say it in my episode reviews that it honestly feels like there is a checklist. There are agenda items, whether it be intersectional feminism, neo-Marxism, identity politics, or whatever other agenda du jour there is, that all of these writers for virtually every property, because it's not just Wheel of Time. I mean, my God, look at WandaVision, look at Loki, look at Hawkeye, even look at Boba Fett today. I heard some rumors. I couldn't believe what they did to Boba Fett.
I didn't
my
even have
God.
the strength.
No, man. I don't subscribe to Disney Plus. They're not getting any of my money.
Yeah,
but
I steal my brother's subscription. Yeah, that's
yeah. But it's become, in my opinion, absolutely undeniable, with the exception of the new Spider-Man movie, that what is the most important thing is meeting all of those corporate diversity, ESG scores, for some type of mass social. You can pick a word, but they're pushing agenda items, and the story is absolutely suffering because of it. The story is in Wheel of Time. I said this in my last review. If we make it through these dark woke days, this will be taught in a graduate class as to how to not adapt a fantasy genre book. This was absolutely the wrong way to do it in every way possible.
Now, Quentin Tarantino, who I absolutely adore, I think he's a great movie maker. I mean, there's no one better. I love Tarantino. He says that the pendulum is going to start swinging the other way pretty quickly. It's not going to take very long. The 80s were the other way. The 90s were boring. Now we're swung this way. He says it's going to go back. It's going to go back. And so there is hope down the road.
I hope there is, but I think the worst thing about it is I think Wheel of Time's ruined for if they're gonna make another effort, it's gonna be 20, 30 years.
Yeah, I'll be long dead by then. Yeah,
by the time they try to readapt it, it's over. So this was the shot for any Wheel of Time fans at a good something. Any film show adaptation, this was the shot, and they completely miffed it.
And I think the worst thing about it is there's people that started to watch this, or maybe even got through the whole season, and they think, okay, my friends have been trying to get me to read these books for the last 20 years, and if this is what it's about, I have no interest at all. And you're going to lose so many potential readers. And no matter how many times we say to people, The books are like if you were going to adapt Dune and you made Gilligan's Island. It is that different, and you really need to give the books the same.
Well, and I felt
Ah.
I felt that was going to be the case too, and it may be still for the majority. But what I found interesting, because I watched my son watched the show with me just exclusively because I was watching it, and he knows, I've read the books and I'm, big into it.
Yeah.
And after watching the show, he actually asked to read the book because of how much I said it was different and how much better the book was. So I think there's going to be a little bit of that too. I think you're right. The mass
Can you
majority is going to be.
imagine all these people that love the show for its identity politics and inclusion and diversity, who then go read the books and realize it doesn't have any of that, or at least if it does, it's really mild,
Yeah.
and they're like, "Whoa, whoa! What do you mean men are stronger than one power? What do you mean this happens? What do you mean that happens? That
What
can't
do
be
you mean?
right."
Has
What do you
anybody
mean there's two
has
halves? Oh, sorry.
no. Has anybody? I heard a rumor about the adaptation that Rosamund Pike, the audiobook. Has anybody actually tried to listen to that? Is
I,
it the novelization of Rafe Judkins' horrible screenplay, or is it actually Robert Jordan's story? Has
I,
anybody checked that
I
out?
I
haven't,
myself have not.
I haven't read
Okay.
it, but I think it's her reading Robert Jordan's books. Um,
Okay. Okay.
which
I was
why would you do?
curious.
You have Michael Kramer and Kate Redding who read it on Audible to perfection. So I don't know why you'd want to hear Rosamund Pike read it when you got those two doing such a bang up job. But I'm pretty sure it's her reading Robert Jordan's books, at least The Eye of the World, I think.
Look at this comment. This one comes to us from Devil's Luck. Hail, thanks for showing up. He says, the show is so bad, I can't even get my friend to try the audiobook. And that's the real damage here. It is
Mhm.
more than just a
Yep.
crappy show that pisses off people like those on this live stream and those of you in the chat. This is the other intended, and I'm going to say that again. This is in my opinion, an intended consequence of what they are doing with the intersectionalism, the neo-Marxism, and the identity politics. It is, in fact, to destroy the things that we love. What do you guys think about that? Do you think I'm overreacting? Am I just a conspiracy theorist? What do you think?
I think
you're
overall
smart.
you're right. I think it is an agenda, and that's what we mean by agenda. It's like, what if you have a team and you want to win, and you put your battle plan together. It's not supposed to be simple. You're supposed to attack it from like 25 different directions, and you win. And so that's exactly what's happening.
Well,
You know.
it can't be anything else because the stories are garbage. I mean, it's not
Mhm.
even like they're adapting it and making a good story. It's completely based around the things you mentioned. If it would be one thing if they adapted it and then the story was riveting and took it in a different direction, and you're like, oh well, okay, it's not what I expected, but it's still good. It's not even that. It's just check box this, check box that. Uh, you know, we got the gay guy, we got the all that stuff. That's all. It's all over it, and it's like that's all it is. And there's no substance to it at all, and it's not entertaining
Yeah.
in the least.
I
Over
mean,
on
go
I
ahead.
was just, yeah, over on Dragon Mount, there is a Q&A with Rafe and Alvaro. Is that how you would pronounce that? The guy who plays Logain. And he addresses some of the feedback he's getting from, I guess, the fan base out there. And he does have something we can... Oh, you brought it up. Good. There you go.
Yeah. So yeah, this
Jimmy
was on
Moore.
Dragon Mount, and this was an interview done by one of their what would you call it, contributors, a woman, who asked him these questions, and I believe it was on Instagram, if I'm not wrong, and it was also done last Friday, just to give you a context of the time frame when these comments were made.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead, Mike.
Oh, I'm supposed to read this, am I?
No. I mean, we can paraphrase it.
Okay. Yeah, you go ahead and you do it. You brought this to my attention. I'm just sharing this because it's easier. I have multiple
Oh,
screens.
my eyes. All right.
Oh,
So,
you can't read it? Okay, let me see if I can.
no, I can read it. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, all right.
So
But the first
the
line is
question,
complete horse crap. I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm
Yeah.
going to let you read it, but the first line of this answer is complete BS.
tell me what you mean. Prophet, tell me what you mean.
We had to, well, because you know they're going to have to. The book already has a huge audience, so why don't you appeal to them? And then there's a
Yep.
reason it has a huge audience. The people, if you write the story that gain that huge audience, then you're going to get an even bigger audience. So you just appeal to the audience that's already huge in there, and then the others are going to follow.
Yeah. So you all can see what's on screen. And this interview asked the question, has season one performed as you expected? God. Any thoughts on viewers' feedback? And of course, this is Rafe Judkins replying to it. And he gives the company man answer. There's really no other way to put it. When we started out, we knew the show had to appeal to a huge audience in order to justify its existence. So we always imagined, oh, I can't believe this guy, that we'd likely lose absolute hardcore book fans who've read the series multiple times because the show would be too different from the books. I don't understand that. I all I need to do is turn over to my left and look at the Lord of the Rings trilogy.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Exactly.
You know,
Or even
And
Game
let's
of
continue.
Thrones through season 5.
fair.
Yeah,
That is
yes,
very
yeah,
fair.
That's very fair. 100%.
So I'll continue to quote my inner Rafe Jordan, and you have no idea how hard it is not to do my SJW nasally voice.
Rafe Judas. I
My-
call him Rafe Judas.
So, and conversely, that we lose people who never watched a fantasy show before because it's too much like the books.
Excuse me? What?
Thank you.
Excuse
The
me?
target. So this is in
Wait,
Rafe
huh?
Judkins' own words who this show was for. It wasn't for the
Doesn't
people
know.
who read it. It wasn't for the people who read the books and knew them in and out, and
It's
it
not
wasn't
for-
for the people who had never watched a fantasy show before.
Oh my God.
Which is like 0 people.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know who the show's for. I can't stop laughing. It's like
Oh my God.
I made
Oh.
it for dogs and cats. Like
God. Oh my God.
that is the
Oh my
stupidest.
God.
How is it?
I made
Like don't
I made
they
it for
screen
people
his
who-
answers anywhere? What are we?
Yeah. Ay. So the target, this was Rafe Jud in his own words. This is Rafe Judkins' target. The target was always more people who read some or all of the Wheel of Time years ago, or are fantasy genre fans but not familiar with the Wheel of Time. So what does that sound like to you? That sounds like the same people that were Raylos that loved the Disney Star Wars sequel trilogy and consumed it like a piece of chewing gum, took on the trappings of being an air quotes fan because it was trendy, and just did and followed whatever narrative was put out there in the media. Now, am I being unfair when I say that, chat, Mike, Prophet? What do you think?
Well, I'm still trying to get over these comments here. Like, man, I don't even know what to say to that because I'm still trying to hold on. Let me gather my thoughts because I'm still reading this thing, and it's just like
No.
I know the target's always been more people who read some of or all. It's like people who have read some, like that's people that don't like it that have
Yeah.
stopped. So you're making a show about the Wheel of Time for people that didn't finish the Wheel of Time because
Because it was
they didn't enjoy
problematic.
it?
They didn't align with their political
Like
views. It
why
didn't align with their-
is that who
yeah.
you're making your show for when you're? I mean, you should be. Yeah, it makes no sense. It's like who are you making your show for? You don't even know.
Yep.
You guys, I need to shout this out. I'm going to make an admission. This is my very first super chat in a live stream. Thank you very much for the
Congrats.
$5.
Awesome.
This came from Brett Rose. You guys have no idea how much I appreciate that. I am so honored.
Wow.
Brett, thank you
Very
very
cool.
much. So Brett says, I have one again, Luz Theron, Dark One Judkins, but my bum rant. Hail to you, Brett Rose. Thank you for the super chat. You know, that's the thing. I don't think Rafe Judkins saw himself as the Dragon Reborn. I think he really was enjoying being one of the Forsaken. And that's how it feels. You know, I mean, obfuscation, even
Dark One
in that
himself.
answer. Yeah. Thank you very much, Brett Rose. That means a lot to me. Hail.
Absolutely. Very cool. And I was here to see
Go
it.
ahead.
I was here
Yeah,
to see
no,
it.
go ahead. Yeah, and here's the thing: if you have not subscribed to OBG70, he is my wingman. He is a really great dude. He puts out quality content. He is working toward 1,000 subscribers as well. Please, if you like what he does, give him a subscription. Same thing with Prophet of the Dragon. Zach Kyle is all over it. Best mod, best wrench in the West. He's in the chat with you there. If you want to throw their links up, I know you've done it before, but I just want to shout people out. So thank you very much for that super chat again.
This is the worst answer I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
It's
get
a
over
not
it.
answer.
I can't get. Who? Sarah Knock. Like, who is Sarah? Like, what book is that? I don't
She's
care.
the historian. I thought she was the Robert Jordan, essentially custodian, who was keeping the integrity of
so she should
Robert
be fired
Jordan's
immediately.
story.
So fire
I've
her.
said that many times. Yeah.
Oh,
so I mean,
that's the person on Instagram who doesn't really know anything about the books, right? Something like that. Yeah.
I don't know. You guys
Yeah.
correct me. I don't spend any time on social media except Twitter just to get angry and then I walk away. So
because that's just a flat out lie. He's just a liar.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way any hardcore book fans like this show, like unless they're just consuming.
So
and
here's the thing.
Out of all the really good fantasy content out there, this last sentence actually is the one that irritates me quite a bit. And how many people who have never watched a fantasy show before in their lives are somehow finding their way to this one and loving it too. I want to see numbers. I want to see receipts.
I don't believe that anybody new is finding their way to this show whatsoever.
So, I mean, the whole thing with this answer was that here's the thing. Just this article and that answer in isolation is one thing. There was an article that I meant to cover and I didn't. And it talked about, Rafe actually admitted all of the pressure that he was under to keep within budget, to keep the budget low, to cut corners. Then you look at something like this. This was not about, from the beginning, in my opinion, based on what I've seen, this was not about making Robert Jordan's story. This was about grabbing a book. Somebody bought this. They probably overpaid for it at the height of when Game of Thrones was on HBO. Everybody was buying every fantasy property. Remember that? That's why The Witcher got bought by Netflix.
Absolutely.
Somebody's like, oh my God, Wheel of Time, look at how many books this has sold. So they bought it, but they didn't buy it from the same way that when all of us on this chat, in the chat, we didn't buy it. They didn't buy it because they loved it. They bought it because it was a property that sold a number of books. It then went through a process where everybody says Amazon wanted their own Game of Thrones. Okay, right. Fair. Why did they then turn Wheel of Time into something that had marginal grimdark moments? I mean, and they were clumsily jammed in it, but it was overlaid on only two platforms. The first one was agenda, forced agenda across the board, and the second thing was soap opera, CW level, young adult relationship problems.
Well, I don't know how anybody sees this and thinks that reminds me of season 1 of Game of Thrones. How do you even make that parallel?
Well, I think honestly, what they were trying to do, and I mentioned this in one of my reviews, wasn't so much they wanted a Game of Thrones as they wanted a water cooler show. They wanted, they wanted that show that infiltrates our culture, gives us phrases we say to each other and type to each other on Twitter and whatnot, and We hear it everywhere: T-shirts, mugs,
Well,
action
well,
figures, all that stuff.
that's the shame of things because if you do Matt right, how many people would be selling blood and bloody ashes shirts and merch?
Exactly right.
He doesn't even say it once. The only person to say blood and ashes is frickin' Rand. I mean,
I know.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like,
No,
come on.
we still haven't gotten a braid tug. Has anybody seen a braid tug from
I think there
90s?
has been a
Some
couple.
like
I mean, other than the
small ones.
Trollic. Yeah, the
there,
Trollic doesn't
there's
count.
been a few where she's like cradling it, and she's so you could sort of interpret it as a tug, but I mean,
Well, the reason
look,
that she can't tug it is that's not her real hair. It's like joined in the middle in this big knot. I don't know if you guys saw that. It's like maybe
It loses weight. It loses weight episode to episode. In episode
Yeah.
5, when she
Well-
is an exterior and comes up the hill, that braid is like the size of a boa constrictor that just ate a small dog.
yeah, it is.
But then when she's in the cave, it's more like a garden hose has a hamster caught in it. And I'm like,
Well-
come on, guys, this
Well,
is
then when
basic
she's
continuity.
Super Saiyan, it's 80 million braids, all over the place because she exploded.
I want to do a shout out here, and this is to a fan in France. Bonsoir, je m'appelle Corey DB. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you are enjoying the live stream, Virginie. Inhale. So-
hail, hail. Very cool.
Oh, well, here we go. This is an authoritative source from DJ Grom that Nynaeve tugged her braid after she had coitus with Lan.
Was
What
Lan
do we-
tugging it for?
Yeah, somebody was tugging something, but let's go ahead and talk about that. I'm not going to say what I think you all know what I'm going to say, but Mike Prophet, tell me what you think about Nynaeve, strong independent women, putting the moves on Lan and them getting it on.
Your turn to go first.
My turn to go first. Well, it's a complete destruction of both of their storylines. I mean, it cheapens their whole relationship. I think maybe it's just a I don't know. Maybe they just nobody's good for a slow burn anymore. I don't know, but there should have been the groundwork. The groundwork of their relationship should have been laid this season, and then just the fun part and the best part about their two relationship is just seeing all the walls that Nynaeve breaks down with Lan to make him feel something. And I mean, it's almost her basically just saying, no, you're gonna love me, I love you, you're mine, and I'm gonna make you figure it out. You're not getting rid of me, and you could try as hard as you want, but I'm not going anywhere. And that's the fun of their relationship. And then vice versa is him just doing everything he can to sort of just say, hey, this is me being in love with you. You don't want to be with me. I'm married to my fight with the shadow. There's no room for a woman in that. So I love you, but it's better for you to go a different way. And just having them sleep together like that, just totally, it's like they're a couple now. And then you throw in that line, you steal the lines from the books because, they have power, and have a complete lack of understanding of what the lines are for. And then you just throw it in after they've done it. It's just like, you have no idea what the hell you're doing.
Yeah. Mike, what do you think?
They just basically decided to go, modern 2021 version of the characters. They're completely out of their element as far as how they would actually be in the culture, in the time that they were living in. I see this in all of my responses to this exact question, which is Nynaeve, Egwene, Rand, Matt, Piran, they come from a very socially conservative village. It's like Little House on the Prairie. The idea of getting it on before they are even married to somebody is a complete. There's no way it'd be mortifying, and so just the way that she even pursues him, like you could even have him pursue her. Well, you wouldn't, you shouldn't, but I mean, her pursuing him it's modern. It's just modern romance, and it just doesn't belong in the Wheel of Time.
Well,
really
the other thing,
or at least with those characters.
Yeah, no, I agree. But the other thing too is, okay, they sleep together, which shouldn't have happened. Here's the thing. I'm rereading the series again. I think I'm on book 6 or 7. They they haven't seen each other naked. I mean,
Yeah.
they haven't spent a lot of time. They haven't even made out. Nobody got
Nope.
to second base.
Nope.
Think
Nothing.
about that.
Nothing.
6, 7 books. Nobody copped a feel. Nobody's doing any of that. What's happening? Nynaeve is afraid to go outside of the menagerie that she's part of in her nightshirt in the dark
Yeah.
because she's so bashful and so prim and proper.
Yes.
And when she
Yes.
has to wear a circus costume, which is even negligibly, marginally revealing, she feels shame and ties her shawl around herself, even though it's 90 degrees outside. She's wearing a heavy wool shawl. Counteract that with what we saw in episode 8. That scene where Land is standing on that balcony and Nynaeve is watching him and comes out, and they gender swap the roles and turn Nynaeve into the, yeah, I slept with you, but I got bigger things to do and I'm not going to give up my career as a
Yeah.
wisdom
Oh my
and an
God.
Aes Sedai to be stuck at home making babies for you, Land. I mean, that's what it
Right.
was. And this stuff is so base. It's so cheap and it's so base. And that's the most offensive part about this show is that it becomes very obvious in each episode that so many viewers are, in my opinion, so much smarter than the writers of this material.
Absolutely.
And it's not because we're trying, it's because, when you love something, you care about it. In this case, these people, again, the agenda is what drove the writing of this show, and they can dance around it all they want. But what we have on screen earlier, what Mike was showing, he gave us our answer. This was not written for book lovers.
Yeah.
It was also not written for people who don't know fantasy shows. It was written for that same magical bullshit audience that Star Wars,
Yeah.
Star Wars The Last Jedi was written for, that The Rise of Skywalker was written for, which again, tell me where that audience is. All right, I'm going to get off my soapbox. You guys tell me what
No,
you think.
no, I agree. Stay on it because you're absolutely 100% right. I no, this is written for nobody. And it's just, and it's I find I didn't even, I guess I've only watched episode 8 once, so I guess I didn't look into the intricacies so much about the Lan and Nynaeve's roles being completely 100% swapped, and
I'm jealous.
her wanting, her not wanting to give up her job instead of Lan saying, no, I'm not going to be with you because you don't want to, because I can't be, because it's not,
Yeah.
you guys know what I'm saying. But
Yeah.
also in episode 8, interestingly enough, Egwene and Rand's stories are, not Egwene, Rand completely gets Egwene's story with the family, whereas that should be Egwene's story. So, the family and the child and all that, that's all Egwene's story being told through Rand. So, I mean, I don't know if he's just an idiot or just, well, he's not an idiot. He knows what he's doing. I mean, we all know that, right? At least we all, I think we all know what he's doing. We all know that he doesn't know what he's doing, but he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at what we've got here. We got Mama B, hail. Or is it Moma B? You'll have to excuse me. I will pull a nerderotic and misread names because, spoiler alert, I am the same age as Gary Nerderotic. I'm actually going to be 52 in March. So there you go. Rafe read the books and deliberately changes everything because they don't care about the hardcore fans. They want a wide audience. Here's the thing. They didn't get it.
Right.
I mean, Mike, the last time we live streamed, you showed me the Google Trends data that compared, and this was when Witcher Season 2 came out, and it showed over, oh Lord, you could extrapolate it out like 2 or 3 months worth of data. And this was, of course, just based on people searching things like Wheel of Time, Eye of the World, Robert Jordan, and then compare that, there we go, to the Witcher data. And I'm going to go ahead and pull us back and hide this. So there it is. And what's the time scale on that, Mike?
7 days. 1 week. Do 30 days. But we have to
Is that
compare
Wheel of
it
Time?
to something. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
you
have
got
to
to get
compare it to something.
comparison in there. Yeah.
It's a little bit
Yeah.
higher
So-
because we had
So-
a
Somebody
season,
did it with
episode 8.
somebody did it with Cowboy Bebop because it was
Oh God.
canceled, and they were pretty close. When last
The-
time I saw it, I don't know if it's still close or not.
There's no winner in that battle, man. You nuke that from orbit and keep
Yeah.
going. That's all you do, man. Like you
I-
Bebop.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I
not
don't know.
finding,
Yeah.
I'm not
Oh, there you
finding
go.
Cowboy Bebop with like the show on Netflix. I think it's off of there.
Yeah, well, no, I think it's well, they canceled it. I know they
The
canceled
Japanese
it.
animated series, a 2001 film, the movie, and then that's it.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's there. Yeah, so I don't know how they did it, but
Yeah.
I
Okay,
mean,
we
The
could
Witcher,
do like The Witcher.
The Witcher's probably a good comparison.
Okay, drama series.
What's the starting of that? How long ago is this?
30 days. 30 days, November 30th.
Let's do 60 days. If we can do 60, I want to see the total
90.
lifespan.
Yeah, 90.
Let's do 90. Oh my God.
Holy crap! Does that not speak volumes? Just right there. I mean,
No,
We'll do,
this
we'll
is
do
what I wanted to
worldwide.
say. Yeah. So what you're looking at is the blue line is the
Jesus.
interest in Wheel of Time. In Wheel of Time, the books. In Wheel of Time, the Amazon show. And this
Oh
goes
no, it's
back.
just
How many?
just the television series.
It's
Yeah,
it's just the television series.
Yeah.
So that blue line.
both are.
The
They both
red the red line is The Witcher. If you look at the interest in The Witcher, it parallels Wheel of Time. And there's a tiny little bump. What is that? A month and a half ago? It is infinitesimally small. Then look at the actual interest in The Witcher based on Google Trends, Witcher Season 2.
All right.
I don't know how you-
This
I
is
don't know
Game
how
of
you
Thrones.
cover
that's the old
See if I
Game
can
of
zoom
Thrones.
in. That's the
Oh my
that's the old Game of
God.
Thrones.
Well, I mean, I wonder if I would House of the
But this is
Dragon or
last
whatever it is,
90
yeah.
days. This is people within the last 90 days searching in Google for this term
Yeah.
Game of Thrones, and it's still above Wheel of Time.
Here's why. People are interested in that, whatever that prequel thing is that they're making
that's
for Game
true.
of Thrones.
That's true.
Yeah,
But-
the House of the Dragon. Yeah.
House of the Dragon. Yep.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. There is the triple the interest in a show that has not even been released yet from a show that had some of the worst 2 seasons, maybe the worst last 3 seasons, a catastrophic failure. People are still willing to give it a chance because in the beginning, those first couple seasons of Wheel of Time stuck with people. There's nowhere to go with Wheel of Time. Look at those numbers. I mean, this is irrefutable.
Yeah.
God, The Witcher just spanked it. Wow.
Yeah, it's killing it. It's killing it hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, and they want you to think it's being successful. They're pushing it everywhere. Number one this, number one that. But I don't see it. You don't hear it. It's I think
Yeah.
Shad said it on one of his streams. You don't see any of the big time YouTube review people reviewing
No.
1, 2, or even the whole season of Wheel of Time. They're not even touching it because it's not a blip on
No.
the radar. It's
No,
not a
and
blip.
people within the sphere of people I watch, because I'm part of the fellowship of Nerderotic, Heel versus Babyface,
Yeah, me too.
all those guys. And I've been a member of Nerderotic channels for almost 3 years. But and he's the one who actually inspired me to start this channel. By the way, if you haven't watched Nerderotic, go give him a watch. Exceptional YouTuber. Gary didn't even cover this. He'll give it like 5 seconds.
Well, yeah, anytime I've mentioned, he's like, yeah, the show was doomed before it started. I still would. I've got out of him a few times that he still would like to try and read the books, but the show he knew was completely doomed because it was he's been
I hit him
watching
with that as
the
well.
Lord of the Rings stuff going on, so we all know where that's headed too. So
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think he's saving up his sanity and his energy for that. Plus, the man is also moving from California,
Well, yes.
California to
Yes.
my neck of the woods.
yeah,
Well, and
'Cause-
he's in San Diego area, and San Diego actually isn't that bad. It's one of the last.
Other than
hotels
being in
California.
California, you're
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sorry.
yeah.
No disrespect to people in San Diego. I thought it was beautiful the last time I was there. That's been a couple
Yeah,
of
it's
years.
just
but-
it's just we need to split off and have a Southern California state.
Well,
Well, yeah. I mean, in I don't want to dox myself, but I was on the West Coast and I would have never left the West Coast until very recently. I
Yeah.
lived in a small coastal village. I'm just going to say on the one of the most farthest northwest points in isolation that you can get. However, if you still live in a state with
Yep.
that has the same type of
Oh, the taxes. Yeah.
things
Okay.
has California and does whatever California does, they still come and find you. So that's
yeah.
why I moved
Right.
to a different place.
No, I lived in California over 20 years ago I grew up in California. That's where I'm from. So I got out before it got really bad. But
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
some of the
yeah,
houses in Texas that my wife and I were looking at about 5 years ago, we were really considering moving, and they were like $300,000 for like a 5,000 square foot house on 2 acres, and now they're getting up there towards $1 million because of all the Californians that are moving there.
yeah.
It's just the
That
housing
can't.
shortage versus the amount of people just saying, "I'm out of here."
I'm just
I want to
looking at this pinned your pinned quote here. I want to shut up because it looks like you're going to read it. But
Yeah, no. I'm going to go ahead and read this. So this is Renaissance Nerd. I'm not going to steal your thunder, Prophet. He says, Wheel of Woke, 1.6 billion minutes viewed. All I want to know is who's monitoring those sweatshops in India where they're forcing those children to
well,
watch all those shows.
but
That's
I'm
all I want
trying
to
to
know.
if you did the math, do you really think 1.6 billion is that much? Because you're thinking because I don't know that it is because you got not
Well,
only do you
you
got
got
repeat
60. You got about 50. Let's say 50 minutes per episode, but it automatically rolls over to the next episode. So the
right.
more episodes are released, the more you get to the next one. So you fall asleep the first 5 minutes of
So
episode
and
one.
I think I did the math. Hold on. I'm going to mute
Okay.
myself. Let me see if I
And
can
while you're
figure
doing
out
that,
the
I'm
math
gonna
here.
I'm gonna bring this up real quick. I just
Yeah.
want because we can move on then.
Let me shout out Renaissance Nerd. Everybody
Oh, hey,
check out
Adam.
Renaissance Nerd.
He just broke 1,000
Check
as well. He's trying to
Yeah,
get
he
monetized.
I was on his 1,000 subscriber stream earlier today. I wanted to super chat him. I will get you, good sir. I'm going to drop a little bit of. I'm going to toss a coin to my Witcher over there. But I just wanted to say, hey, it's a grind. It's hard work to do this, and you get lucky. But fortune favors the bold, and also those who keep their nose to the grindstone. So hail to you, Renaissance Nerd.
Adam's good people.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
Go
wanted
ahead,
to,
Mike.
yeah, I just wanted to
Sorry.
bring this up so I can move off the screen and do something else with my life.
Yeah,
We're
please.
talking about the expanded stuff, all the X-ray things that are going on over in Amazon.
Yeah.
And I always just wanted to make the point that if you have to have supplemental material to explain your story, you're not telling the story right. The writing's
Yeah.
got it. You should never.
Absolutely.
This should be stuff like, storyboard art and some films of the composer writing music, and there should be all that kind of stuff. You shouldn't have to have, if you would like, right out of freaking whatever that movie is that I love, like Starship Troopers. If you want to know more, click on this.
Yeah,
You shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
And
agreed.
it's just it really bothers me.
So real quick, so it's 480 minutes for the whole season, right? So if you say, one person watched all 480 minutes, that's basically 3.3 million people. That doesn't seem like that much if you're just going on people.
It's not that much when you consider.
I mean, it just
Worldwide.
1.6, but it's 1. I thought I had seen another article that said by episode 3 they were at 1 billion minutes watched it by episode 3.
Yeah, but the first 3 were released all at once, and like I say, you could walk away episode 1, the first 10 seconds,
right?
F this show, and then you could go walk your dog, and guess what? It's still playing while you're
right.
not there.
Well, that
So
too, but
yeah.
those. When I'm saying first 3 episodes, if you're at 1 billion minutes watched at the first 3 episodes, that's only another 6 billion for the last half of the season too.
Oh yeah, true.
Or less, yeah. So I don't think 1.6 billion. I mean, I wish I don't know if there's a comparison out there, but I don't think that's that big a number.
Well, what they're doing is they're essentially equating entertainment and adaptations of a beloved book to McDonald's hamburgers. It's like, why not hang a sign in front of Amazon saying, 1.6 billion minutes served? That's the
Yeah,
same
there you
thing. And what's happening, and regardless of how you feel about fast food, is it's overprocessed. There's nothing to sustain you. It is something you consume, and then afterwards you kind of feel empty. And that's the way I feel about fast food, and that's the way I feel about what you call content on streaming. I want to shout out Virginie Bonsoir. She says, I'm lucky. I live in a fantasy landscape. She lives in Alsace. There are some pretty cool old buildings in Alsace, France, border with Germany. So many castles and a medieval villages.
Oh,
Hail to that.
I've been addicted to the last couple of days watching on YouTube this guy that goes through all these old abandoned castles and super mansions and stuff. They're all over France. And he just goes through and they leave everything behind. There's like books in the bookcases, old strollers, all the furniture's still there,
That's
the
crazy.
tapestries are still there, and no one lives there. It's completely empty. And I'm just like, oh my God. But it looks like Edward Scissorhands, that place that he lived. The roofs
Edwardian.
collapsed in, and it's pretty bad. But still, I've been watching that nonstop. Love that stuff.
My brother has been in Eastern Europe for 26 years. And I'll just say he lives in a former Soviet bloc country on the very edge over there. And I went up into the Alps of Romania and saw some of the villages that escaped the Allied bombardment during World War II and then subsequently escaped what the Soviets did. And there's really no way to describe how absolutely amazing those medieval tiny villages are. I envy you, Virginie. Fantastic. Thank you so much for falling asleep to us tonight, by the way.
Are we that
Absolutely.
boring? I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Oh, nothing puts me to sleep more than
Wheel of
watching.
Time?
Listening to me talk.
Just listening to any kind of pod. I'll put Nerdrotic on. He does
No. I
his
wouldn't
Friday
do
Night
that.
Tights or
I
something.
was
And
just joking.
it puts me out.
Yeah.
You can't fall asleep. You can't fall asleep to Heel versus Baby when he watches Batwoman, though. That would give you nightmares.
That is a laugh right a minute. I love it, man.
I used to play WoW with him, kind of. I was on his server for a while. Anyways, this one here. How many seasons ahead are you thinking when making?
Yeah,
decisions?
I saw you come to this one, and this is just laughable.
I love the part for later payoffs. I'm not sure if he knows what that means, because there's.
I don't think when we think payoffs from a narrative story perspective, I'm not sure if that's if Rafe Judkins' mind works in the same way that we do.
And Rafe, I'm not sticking around to see your payoffs. I've already decided.
I'm going to watch season 2. Here's the thing: they can greenlight it. Maybe it's in production, but things have a funny way of not always working out. I know they said they'd already committed to 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah,
I will believe it when I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, I know they're filming or whatever, but he doesn't know what to pay off. He missed all the payoffs from Eye of the World, so to build his, I guess, fake payoffs. So, he has a different definition. I think that's for sure.
I don't know how Chat feels. I like Logain. I like the actor who plays him. I don't like what they did with him, but he's one of my favorite book characters, and I like the actor. I think he did a great job. So reading this, I'm glad he gets to do it. So I just wanted to say, there are good things.
I guess I do like the actor. I agree. I like, and I've always liked Logain from the books, but I don't. How do I put this? Why? It's another one of those decisions. I guess it's because it's a character that they can put whatever they want into it, because he's sort of a mystery to a point in the books, so they can write him however they want to. But it's another one of those things. I'd rather spend time with characters that are from the books that had time, instead of have more Logain time when his
crowd.
major.
What's that?
The crown. What the crown? What does the crown mean to the dragon reborn?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I mean, Logain is look, I love Logain too, but he has his moment in the sun, and then he disappears for a while, and then he comes back with a vengeance in a different way. And I think I like the actor, but
Yep.
I also like Elias, and he's dead.
Oh, jeez.
Again, how awesome would it have been? Oh God! See, once we start down that road, there's no stopping.
Well, there's
To
more
have
than-
Elias, to have the village actually, to have Emmons Field have been Emmons Field,
Yeah.
to show Rand and Matt performing,
Yes.
juggling, being
Yes.
on the road.
Actually have some time with Tom and Rand and Matt. Like we had almost zero time with Tom, Rand, and Matt, which is a shame.
Well, that wasn't Tom. That wasn't Tom.
Yeah. So
I mean,
Tom,
I mean, the thing is that when they showed Tom in that episode, they actually played Western music and had spurs clanging as he walked with his boots. And I'm trying to figure out who the hell in that writer's room did that, and why did they do that? Was that some homage to Stephen King's the Dark Tower series?
Yeah,
It just seems like there are all these little lazy cut and pastes from other fantasy properties. You saw it in episode 8 where you have the wrong characters in the wrong type of blight, seeing the fighting Urukai come running out on the plains, just like you saw in the Two Towers. And it's like, you guys, you're not even doing a good job with this. Everything about what this adaptation does has made it small in a way that I didn't think it was possible. Sorry.
The pacing is all weird too, because especially in episode 8, because you see what's going on in the blight, and they look back and they're like, "Oh, hey, look at all those guys running for the wall," and then they take that. It's like all the nonchalantness that takes place in between that, and then the Trollocs are just standing in Tarwin's Gap, going, "Oh, has everybody arrived? Can we begin our assault?" It's like, what is going on? It's a complete lack of understanding of how to write a coherent story at all. Period.
Well, yeah, and not only that, but those of us who did see the movie 300, if you look at that gap in the wall, you reduce the numbers of your attacking enemy by minimizing the front by which they can concentrate their firepower. You could have had a vastly smaller force contain and mow down those, second-rate Trollocs in that pass.
Yeah.
But no, we need to have whammon power. We need to have, I'm going to burn myself out with the source, even though I never did this in the books at all.
Yeah. Well, windows low on the wall too. We got to make sure we got, those aren't arrow notches. Those were pretty much windows. It's like, and then Agomar getting a spear on the bottom of. I mean, what are we doing? He's a general. What's he even doing there? Like,
I don't understand.
It's like military.
Yeah.
Like these people that are writing fantasy novels need to read some military tactics, like medieval military tactics books, just so we can at least believe some of what they're doing. Because do you understand that man is a general? He would be nowhere near where you put him at all. Yeah. And to think that to make us, it just shows that you have no idea what you're working with.
Yeah, and the Ostalesis makes a point. I was actually thinking this in my head, so we were psychically linked. How great would the Matt, Rand, and Tom scenes on the riverboat have been on the screen? I brought that up in a live screen on Renaissance Nerds channel, where I talked about there is a book cover of Rand in the mast, and that is taken directly from the scene after they flee Shader Logoth. Again, an entirely missed opportunity.
Botched. Complete botch. Yep.
When they flee Shader Logoth, they run down a hill. They end up at the river. There's a riverboat tied up there. The captain and crew help fight off the Trollocs. Some of the riverboat crew are killed. And in exchange for passage downriver, Tom, telling stories, entertaining, and Rand and Matt also doing their thing,
Yep.
they get to ride on this boat. And if in Rand starts to, it's one of the probably the earliest manifestations of his ability to channel is
Yeah.
when he climbs a mast and has this moment of, what would you call it, Prophet Mike? Just this sort of spiritual grace, or the world being bigger in a glow of things. How would you guys describe
Oh,
that?
I don't. I don't even know. I think you've summed it up pretty good. I mean, it's just that he's just
Exhilaration.
yeah. There you go. I think that's the best way to
Perfect.
put it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
He summons the boom to knock the Trolloc off into the water.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Good stuff. Good
It's
stuff,
all
man.
good stuff. All that stuff we lost for whatever. The more and more you go over the stuff that's been lost for the stuff that was there, it just piles up. You see these articles about the top 10 things that are different, and it's like, and then they don't even touch on any of the top 10 things that are missing. It's just like, what are you talking about? I've almost done it for my channel. I haven't had time because of work, but it's just, you have all these articles from these fake Wheel of Time experts saying this is the difference between this and that. It's like, no, you've completely missed everything that's important, and
All
just
they're
because
doing,
you want to kiss ass.
yeah, all they're doing is recycling press releases because they want the ad revenue from Amazon, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what all of these sites are doing. That's why, in my opinion, big movie studios, including those with theme parks in California and Florida, in my opinion, that's why you see so many people white knighting for these large globalist, entertainment content producers. They are desperate to keep whatever trickle of pennies they can get for their woke site. And yes, I am looking at you, IGN. I'm looking at those types of things. It's just, the more that they, in my opinion, mischaracterize entertainment, and in my opinion, shill for these studios, the more viewers they lose. So it's a negative sum game. There is no escape from what they have done to themselves.
Yeah. And they can advertise all they want to, and they can push their agenda all they want to. There's only so many people that are going to watch it.
Well, I think the show is dead. I think they killed it.
Yeah, I do too. And I think the thing that they're okay. So George Lucas made his money not on Star Wars, but on the toys.
Yes.
Yep.
They had the opportunity if they made just a decent show.
Well, but
just an okay show.
oh my God, could you think? I'm sorry to interrupt, Mike, but
Go
could
ahead.
you think of if they made some actual good props? Do you know I would go buy Perrin's moonbladed axe right now and put it on my wall?
Hell yeah.
I would have bought
everyone.
if they would have done the Heron Mark blade. Yeah, the Heron Mark blade.
Yeah.
If they would have done that, and this show was even okay.
Yeah.
I mean, even okay. And I'm talking
Yeah.
Shannara Chronicles okay.
Yeah.
I would have got the Heron Mark blade.
The
I absolutely
props
would
are
have.
all like, who is the prop master? Because like in the costume, all the costumes. I'm sorry if for anybody that likes them, all the costumes suck. All the designs of all the weapons and the props are terrible. The Aes Sedai rings are terrible. The sword, Rand's sword sucks. Perrin's axe. Oh wait, he doesn't have one. He's got a little knife that he gives away.
Yeah.
I mean, Perrin doesn't even. I mean that I knew we were doomed from the start when Perrin didn't leave the Two Rivers with his axe. I mean, you've completely altered his story. But I mean, just that alone. Do you know the amount of axes, swords, and replica merchandise you could?
If they would have had some really cool looking mugs that they used back in the inn, I would have bought those mugs. Dude, if they would have done the episode 8 right, and they would have had the actual Eye of the World, and they would have actually had the horn, and better yet, the dragon banner. I would have that freaking dragon banner.
I would too. In a
second.
In a second, I would have a dragon banner right now.
A nice silk with embroidery and all that. $500 free shipping today. It
Oh
would
my
already
Yeah,
be
take
here.
my money.
Dragon Banner,
$500. I would be.
Valir.
Here you go. Take it. Yep.
Dragon Banner, Horn of Valir. Do you think how many people would have bought the Ring of Malkir that Land gives Nynaeve if you just got a glimpse of that thing? I mean,
Yeah.
like it's the list is endless of all. I mean, the Dragon Banner. I knew, my God, I would buy 3 of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd sail out in front of my damn house. That dragon, they could make that thing look so cool,
Yep.
and they completely just like it's like you're. It's clear they don't want to make money. It's about the message, because the money that they've left on the table from just the things we've just in 2 minutes come up on with off the top of our head here, is just. I mean,
And
Tom's flute. I mean,
Tom's cloak.
Tom's cloak. I mean, his flute box. His hell. Even if you want his make it his lute, whatever. Give him a damn harp. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Could you imagine
all the things
Could you
could have sold?
imagine
His
a
dagger.
book?
We didn't even mention the dagger. Matt's dagger.
I know.
If you made it work,
Tom's cloak.
God.
Tom's cloak, the dagger, the heron mark blade,
Water.
Heron's axe.
Some of that will come out before next Halloween if they continue with the series. It's just that other than maybe
It'll come out, nobody will buy it. 'cause
yeah,
it'll
exactly.
look
That's my
garbage.
point. Is that you'll have some people. Obviously, you see them on Twitter, you see them in the comment section. They will still buy them, but the billions that they could have made on all of this stuff.
Billions.
Not just for the show,
God.
people to watch the show, but let's say I never watched the show, just loving the books. If they would have done, I would have been.
Just from the books. If you had that axe and that sword, and the Dragon Banner, done. Those are instant purchases for me. Not even a second thought. You know, I wasn't as big a fan of the Matt's dagger as some. I mean, it's an important item, but I don't know that I would have bought that. But
I'm not sure
Horn
my
of
wife would
Valir,
agree.
I mean, God.
Yeah, I'm not sure my wife would agree to it, but I would even maybe buy the Shanqian leash and collar and that kind of stuff. You know.
Well, I mean, think if you
kinky, Mike. Okay.
Well, I mean, you haven't even got into the Dragon Scepter and all those.
And for the
things.
record, she would not agree to it.
Oh, I have no doubt of that. Yeah,
man.
as you guys were talking about this, I cannot believe it's been 20 years since Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Rings came out. But do you remember how many normies who, for those of us who grew up in the 80s, and how much shit we took for reading fantasy stories like The Hobbit, a Lord of the Rings trilogy, you know, the Dragons of Autumn, the Dragonlance Chronicles, all those things that were in vogue. But do you remember how many of those same people, when the Fellowship of the Rings came out, went out on Amazon and bought Aragorn's ring, you know, the Ring of Power?
Yeah.
I had my office. It was a Lord of the Rings office. I painted it. I had, all the molding up that was reminiscent of something, I don't know. But I had swords on my walls, the plaques, the banners, the thing. I mean, it was a big map that was like 6 feet wide at least.
Well, and then you got all
framed map,
the spin-off games and all that stuff. I mean, I own 3 Lord of the Rings swords.
And how many DVD box sets did you guys buy? And Blu-rays?
Oh my God, I have like
All of them.
5. I have 5. Yeah.
You think I'm going to be buying this Lord of the Rings crap? I mean, this Wheel of Time crap? There's freaking no way.
No.
Not a single one.
I'll watch season 2 just to be pissed off because, well, I hate myself, I guess. But I'd never buy any of it. Not a penny of it. Anything that'll get the money from me at this point for the show, no way. No way.
I actually would buy a loyal action figure. Do you know why? Because I want to dress him in a Burger King costume and put him behind me on live streams when I decide to finally show my face. And it's something now that we're in midstream, for those of you who were not here, I launched as part of celebrating the fact that I did hit 1,000 subs. And I'm going to again say, for those who were not here earlier, that is all because of you in the chat. And I'm also going to give credit to Mike. Mike has been an incredible wingman, OBG70, in helping me reach that goal. But the I put in some hard work on it, but you guys, your responses, your comments, they really kept me going. When you start out and you're stuck at 32 subs for 6 months, and then you somehow make
Get out of
things
the mud.
happen, it's remarkable, and I just want to thank everybody in the chat and those who will be viewing the stream later. But you will see it in the end credits. I will also do my role. The beginning of the show, I built out a pretty complicated but short homage to a lot of the characters that I love in cinema and fiction. And I used a deep fake app to put my face on them. So if you're wondering why Indiana Jones doesn't look like Indiana Jones and other James Bond doesn't look like James Bond, that's because that's my face. So that's as close as I'm going to come to getting on camera yet because of my air quotes career. But very soon I will be fully on screen. So thanks to everybody.
Very cool. Rolling Dodge has a good comment there. I had to scroll down a little bit to see it. Rafe Judkins, Amazon Wheel of Time showrunner, said that his response after getting his first death threat was to turn their favorite characters gay.
Yep. No, I know that's a real quote.
And
that's
that
a real
is,
quote too.
yeah, he did say that. And
He did, absolutely.
And if you guys did not see my chat breaking comment that was on Renaissance Nerds channel when we did the deconstruction of episode, or the whole season actually, I pointed out that the love triangle between Piran and Rand and Egwene.
I don't want you to be right. I don't want you to be right. Sorry.
It isn't what you think it is.
It's a
that
foregone
Piran
conclusion.
doesn't love Egwene. He loves Rand.
Yep, 100%. On the
If you
money.
go back through all the way through episode 1 and look at all the things in a different light, you will see that it's a very well supported theory.
He wants to.
And
he wants
episode 8, when he and Egwene are sitting on the bed together, and she tells Perrin that I love him, Perrin. And
look, if it was between her and him, he would have said, like, he would have lowered his head and said, "I know," not
I know.
Not I love him too, or whatever he said. I do too. It's like, oh man, like it's as soon as he said this, like gay parent, confirmed.
Yeah.
Well, he did hint that he was going to make two major characters gay or bi or something, and then we assumed, probably incorrectly, that we got to see that with Moraine and Swan. But I think that's a double fake out, and I think he really intended Rand and Piran.
Yep, I think you're.
I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it here. It's going to be 9 even men. $20. I'm not kidding. Chat, back me up on this.
Wait.
Back me up or call me out. Chat, I'm asking you. Wait. It's going to be 9 Eve. They're going to have 9 even men hook up. That's my prediction.
But okay, you know what? Anything's possible at this point.
Well, okay, so first of all, don't approach it from the place of that makes sense, because if we do that, we wouldn't be watching the show at all. I'm not saying I want this to happen. I'm not saying it should happen. I'm just saying they're going to do it.
You're using the South Park manatee method. Is that you just sent the manatees off and they picked out the circles, the little the manatee bubbles and picked out the names and there you go. So
I'm using the Rafe Judkins method. I'm using the Rafe Judkins method.
Yes. Close your eyes and throw darts. Yeah, that's probably about it.
No, in one of my reviews, I said they got an old magician's hat. They cut up pages out of the book, stuck them in the hat, shook up the hat, and just drew out pages, stuck their finger on a sentence, and we'll do that.
Yeah.
Because that's what it feels like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No, yeah. Well, you know, if they're fans, they're fake. Well, I don't want to say fake fans, but they don't really like the material. They just they're using it. They're using it just as, like you said, for their agenda. They don't care about the material. Not whatsoever.
Hey, Mike.
Yes.
Mike, do you have that source that where Rafe threatened to change the character's sexuality?
Oh,
was that on Instagram or it wasn't?
I don't do Instagram. They want too much personal information to set up my account. I do have an account, but I forgot all the information. Let me see if I can find it on Twitter.
I thought it was a tweet.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought so too. Rafe.
I thought it was too. And
maybe chat can help us out on that too.
Yeah, I
Yeah, I
don't do a
mean
lot
it's
of Twitter, but like I'm pretty sure it was a
yeah.
tweet because I even saw it. I was like, what? It's like, ugh, here we go. Because that's where he
Yeah.
put his male feminist tweet too. So
Yeah, Josie Wales, I wanna be sure that if we make claims, we back them up or we retract them. I know I believed that that had occurred on Instagram, but I am not on Instagram. Like I said,
yeah, I know. Yeah,
I'm not on Facebook. I never will be. I'm not on any of those things. And I'm not going to say what I do for a living, but there's a reason why. And um, I am on Twitter because I get some of my breaking news from that. And then also I get to talk to some of you fine people that are in chat there and let people know what's going on. So,
yeah. I recall seeing it, but I think it's good to get a source just because of that. I think you can tell how.
I want to say Bounding into Comics.
I want to say that too.
Gosh, it was like
Yeah.
3 or 4 weeks ago that John F. Trent had it in a headline, and I go to Bounding into Comics, a couple times a week. I try not to cover a lot of the same stories as other larger channels do because so many of those other guys, I'm never going to be first to market, and if I talk about something, I'd rather give my own unique perspective and not recycle other people's stuff.
Okay,
because I like to watch their channels.
I got it here. I got it
Okay.
here. Okay, so it's
That's what I like. That's what I like to see.
I'm not good
Back
at
up
this.
our
I'm not
credits.
a very good Google Foo person.
Okay, I think that's a good thing.
It's hold on.
If
I
you
may
just
have an
look
issue
up
here.
in Google,
I'll vamp for you.
if you
Well,
just
no,
look
I
up,
may end up getting dropped out because my
if
browser
you
crashed.
if you just look up on Google, just Rafe Judkins and Death Threat, it brings up the whole thread.
Yeah, I found it. I just can't share it. Can you?
Oh, okay.
Can you share it instead after everything shut down this browser?
You're asking me a lot. Hold on. How do I share? You're talking
Down
to
there
a
in
guy
the
that
bottom of the 5 circles, there's one in the middle that says share screen.
Yep, and then I'll bounce it out.
And then
Yep,
I might have
we'll
to come
walk
back.
you through it.
All right.
Okay.
Hold on. So share screen.
Dooby dooby doo. We lost Mike. So yeah, down at the bottom there's a share screen thing. But in the meantime,
No, that's not it.
yeah. So I guess here
Hold on. Let me
something
mute
I've been wanting to talk about for a while is and I'll wait for Mike to come back and I'll say it again, is out of all of the Emmons Field 5, if we had to
Did you get that?
yeah, roger that. Hold on one second. Mike's back.
I'm back.
So
Yep, that's it.
okay. So can you zoom a little closer? If you can't, that's okay. But can you
Yeah,
read
it's
what it
not-
is, or at least
So
highlight
it says
it? Yeah.
so we got my first Wheel of Time related death threat today. It was homophobic to boot. Then the next one is there it is. You're all very kind. Da, da, da. There it is. So I've dealt with them before, and there's truly one way to respond: turn their favorite characters gay, because I can. There you go.
I'm going to read this slowly because I want to digest this as a person. You all are very kind. I've dealt with them. Okay, wait a minute. I'm going to do it. Are you ready for it? Are you ready for salty Texas C SJW voice? All right.
Oh gosh, here it comes.
All right.
Save us all.
You all are very kind. I've dealt with them before, and there's truly only one way to respond. Turn their favorite characters gay. 'Cause I can. This gentleman reaps what he sows. I don't understand that. You know what I find disgusting about that is oh God, I'm from a different time, but it's like there were a lot of people who did face a lot of adversity for a long time, and for it to become this commodity or this tab or this like doing this, it demeans all of the sacrifices because of some very good friends that I have that went through a lot of actual harassment in the 80s. And
He's got time to go through this guy's tweets and find out who his characters were. So it's like, dude, why
I
don't you
just
spend some time writing some stuff instead?
I don't get it. So, Mike, I was talking to Prophet about this while you were out.
Yeah.
And we'll start winding down in a little bit because we've been going about an hour and a half. But
Yeah.
out of all of the Emmons Field five, Rand, Matt, Perrin, Egwene, Nynaeve, which character did Rafe Judkins' adaptation damage the least?
Ooh, the least.
I'm tricky.
The least. Oh,
The least. I know.
I know, right on its head.
So far up through episode 8, I would say Rand.
Yeah,
I that's what I think too. Because
Yeah, it has
he
to
has
be.
no character arc.
exactly.
He has
Yeah.
no character arc. He
Well, I
doesn't
think-
get trained.
I think
ahead.
he sees himself in the actor playing the role. Like, he wants to be the dragon. Obviously, he can't, so he's casting somebody that represents Rafe Judkins as the dragon, as Rand al'Thor.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Rand. Is it because just like there's like somebody said he's got the second most screen time. I can't believe that, but
Yeah, I saw that as well. I agree.
it's like crazy. Like, but he does nothing, and it's. I saw someone say Land, and the minute Land cried, his character was completely destroyed. But he's not from Madden 5, so makes the question very tricky. But it has to be Rand because as Matt has been eviscerated, and so is Perrin. I mean, Matt and Perrin are completely not Matt and Perrin.
Yeah.
So, Egwene is now the unbreakable one. So she's now Khaleesi of the Dothraki, and Nynaeve is a god. So I guess
It's take a look at chat. Take a look at chat. We've got DJ Graham saying Nynaeve. She was a bitch in the books too. She was difficult. She was difficult. I would agree with that. We've got Tam. We've got Mistress Alver doing triple duty here.
I don't know.
Anglemar.
We didn't learn anything about Tam, and they did take away his blade mastership.
Well, Tam was just another. I mean, the whole
He's
al'Thor clan is a big nothing.
Yeah.
They took Tam's storyline away from him too. He just got instantly healed. I knew there was problems too because she instantly healed Tam's wound. Just like, nope, that's not. I mean, that takes a price. Nope, we're not worried about those details.
Prophet, you just said something, and it's something that I'm going to be covering in my part 2 review of episode 8. And I would like all of your guys' feedback, including in chat too, on what you think about this. Can you name an episode where the characters involved had to grow and be incredibly uncomfortable and then mature or advance as to what they were, so that from episode 1 to episode 8, do the characters from Emmons Field feel any different from the beginning of the show to episode 8? Do they feel any different? I mean, other than Nynaeve sleeping with Lan.
Well, I mean, they've regressed. I mean, I think Perrin has gone the wrong direction. So has Matt. I mean, they both got worse. So, are you talking about growth or just change?
Character development, so that, much like when you read the books, where we are in Rafe Judkins' adaptation
Right.
versus where we were in Robert Jordan's works, okay? These characters, do they feel the same as episode 1? Do they feel like they've grown? Do they have any more skills, any more talent?
I know. I mean, go ahead, Mike. Because
I was going to say they're still empty shirts. They have their
Because I
Nothing
mean,
there.
I'm trying to be fair here, but nothing's really changed. Nynaeve's the exact same person she is. Egwene, I mean, Egwene. I guess. I mean, yeah, not growth. I guess they've changed a little bit. They haven't really grown. Like, she has her, change from I'm scared of the White Cloaks too. I'm unbreakable now. Haha. uh, so
Yeah.
no natural growth at all, not at all. Rand hasn't had no screen time to start. Well, not enough screen time. I shouldn't say that. Enough focus to have grown at all or done anything. Rand is still an empty shell with nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, Rand doesn't know how to use a sword that he's carrying.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
He hasn't spent one afternoon training with Lan.
Somebody said he's now an archer. He's not a swordsman, and it's like, well, yeah, he's supposed to be both, but it's like you're absolutely right. No sword play at all.
And let's walk through it. Perrin. Perrin magically, once he gets tied up and is turned into the Gimp by the guy who likes to eat baby birds from the White Cloaks. Suddenly now it's like, oh, magical Rafe Judkins bullshit sprinkle fairy dust. Perrin can have different colored eyes and wolves like him.
Hulk Perrin, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right out of Twilight. Yep. Twilight.
Matrim, they wrote him into a corner. They had him digging around in a dumpster to find a dagger with no backstory. They completely omitted the, oh God, what was his name? The Forsaken in Shader Logoth. Mel, is it, oh God, Melkor? You know what I'm talking about?
Mordeth is he's something else. He's not even Forsaken. He's an evil that rivals the Dark One. So like that's an even better storyline. So Mordeth is gone.
Lumped him in with the bad guys, but there's no Mordeth in Shader Logoth in the treasure room full of golden objects.
Yep.
And then we've got Matt, who I would still love to know why Matt left and or was kicked out. I really wonder if it was a Me Too thing or if this is a guy who read the books and was like, I don't want to be part of this. This is career suicide.
I feel like there's all kinds of rumors floating around that whole thing, isn't it? I mean, there's from the Me Too stuff to he didn't like what was being done to him, so he decided to leave, and then they assassinated Matt even more as payback. I mean, that's the worst rumor. Well, no, I shouldn't say the Me Too stuff. If he, that's the worst. But I mean, if that's true, but like, I think it's so petty to say if he has made a decision, he's like, I don't like where you're going with this, and I am deciding to step away after season 1 because I don't like how you're writing my character. I don't think it's genuine, and I can't play this character anymore. And then if they actually took that as a slight and said, well, we're going to just remove you from the end of the season because screw you. It's like,
I find that highly believable. I find that incredibly believable. I wish I didn't. But if you look at the trail of responses from the showrunner, and I remember the first one I read, it was in Cosmic Book News in October before the show dropped, where he was talking about the big changes he made and he was aging these characters up. And I don't think he ever considered the dead ends he was going to place him in. I also don't think that the tone of the books was ever even part of what they were considering. I think it was nothing but demographic data. How do we appeal to that 18 to 24 viewing demographic? Let's turn it into CW soap opera, which just happens to have characters named Rand, Perrin, and Matt.
Sex. That's the best comment. Yeah, and you've had to teach Lan how to track. That's a good one. Oh my gosh,
Mike, what do you think? You're awful quiet tonight. What do you think?
Oh, actually, I'm reading chat and enjoying chat.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, ask me a question because I'm kind of off track. I know you're talking about the characters, how they changed.
Character growth. Are these characters this? Well, is there an arc?
Yeah, no, there isn't. No, there really isn't. And Matt had opportunity. There was some possibility there, but it just fell, and then he quit. And then
and then he ends up back in Tar Valon for some reason. It's like I thought they might like have him go back to the Two Rivers and give him Perrin's arc, or like maybe flip the arcs. Had Matt go back to the Two Rivers and Perrin has I thought they might do that, but then he's in Tar Valon, so nope, they're not.
He kind of looks he looks a little bit sickly there, and that was my theory that
your theory was good, Mike.
Yeah, he went back there looking for the dagger, but he didn't know Fane had it, and now he's got to go chase Fane down.
I like that theory, but that would take some thought and some storytelling ability. So I don't know that they've thought that far ahead.
Fair.
No, but could you imagine if you got 12 people who love the books, and it does, people don't have to agree with me. I mean, they don't. Just like Mike and I don't agree on everything, Prophet and I don't. A lot of other people we don't. But man, you could have did a different turning of the wheel and only transposed the characters in different situations if you maintained, number one, the same age, number two, the same character and soul of who we read.
Yep.
You could have made something great. But the Dragon Reborn can only be Rand al'Thor, an Aiel baby found on the slopes of
Yeah.
the Dragonmont by Tam. That's
Yeah.
it. That you
Yeah.
can do whatever else you want.
Yeah.
You
Oh, yeah.
know?
Yeah. There's just change
it's-
things here and there. You could have had so much fun with it if you want to be like, oh, okay, they're doing this, and there would have been a little pushback. But if there's look, I think they give a lot of disservice to any hardcore fans of this. It's like if you show us that you're going somewhere with something, we're gonna most times probably give you the benefit of the doubt if you show you're actually honoring what you're putting on the on the screen. So if we can see that Matt is developing into something, but Perrin is taking over his story, or I don't know, Mazrim Tame shows up instead of Logain. I don't know. Anything you could do.
You could have played it a lot of different ways. You could have had a different Forsaken. You could have had different Aes Sedai that were part of the Black Aja. Could you imagine how much fun that would have been if you could have had the book authentic Amerlin and have Liane be a Black Aja? That would have blown our minds.
Yeah. There's all kinds of things. They're just not that creative. They're just not that creative.
Would you have done the prologue in the first episode?
Yes, 100%.
Prophet, you go first.
Yes,
yes,
without a doubt,
100%.
100%, no doubt.
Would you include any of the Age of Legends stuff from like Strike on Sheol Ghul?
No. At least not. No, I wouldn't. I think you get so much. You get a lot from the Balsamon, Louis Theron, and then Ileana stuff.
Yeah.
You get a lot from that, a view into how powerful and crazy Balsamon is at that point, and Louis Theron's craze, and then just how powerful Louis Theron, the dragon, is. But when he erupts in the Dragon Mount, the Boar stuff. I mean, are you talking about the Boar stuff, or are you talking about Age of Legends actual stuff?
Oh no, I would. Yeah, the Boar stuff. I would have done. I'm thinking about how I would have done it. I would have.
Could have maybe done a little, but then you got to have Lanfear cast, and I don't think they figured out how to cast a beautiful enough woman.
100%.
But I don't know that you need. I think there could. I don't know. I think it's important to get the actual drilling of the Boar event in there somewhere.
They'll have it if they do Shadow Rising correctly. They'll have it there, but
yeah. So I don't know that the drilling of the Boar per se needed to be in the first season, but I don't think it would have hurt. I mean, I just don't think you need it as much as that prologue. That prologue, I feel like you need.
Yeah, I do. I agree.
Well, look what we got. That was not Louis Theron. That was not the future I ever imagined. No. That was certainly not the clothes that I expected Louis Theron to be wearing.
Louis Theron, the Dragon Reborn, right?
Yeah, Louis Theron, the Dragon Reborn.
I mean, come on. That's like, how do you fuck that up? I'm sorry. How do you screw that up?
No, it's okay. We're far enough in the stream that it doesn't matter anymore once you get past the first 10 minutes.
How do you mess that one up? Just call, and what do you
Maybe they didn't. But Prophet, maybe they didn't. Maybe they did that because, and this is going to be in my episode 2.
Oh, sorry.
They're going to pull a Doctor Who Timeless Child retcon of the Dragon Reborn storyline. You can
Uh,
see this. You can see this coming a mile away.
yeah,
And at some point, all of us, including those in the chat, I'm not going to tell you what to think. I'm going to ask you to just watch. Why are all of these shows in genre, fantasy, science fiction, why are they all doing the same thing? It's unbelievable. They destroyed 60 years of Doctor Who. And I don't want to get off on a tangent here. I never talk about it. I have been a diehard Doctor Who fan since I was 12 years old. And what they did, I will never watch another episode of Doctor Who. As far as I'm concerned, that show ended with Capaldi, and that's it. But to get back to what we were talking about, Luz Theron was the dragon. Full stop. Unless Rafe Judkins has other plans.
Yeah, I'm not.
I got Luz Theron up on the screen if you want to.
Well, and they took the Tamerlan seat away from him too. So I don't doubt. I mean, he's supposed to be both. So, yeah, I could see them. No, I don't have any knowledge of my knowledge of Doctor Who comes from watching you guys, Neurotic and Az and all them breaking it down. I haven't watched any Doctor Who, but what they've done to that sounds like it's been just a tragedy. And
Tom Baker.
I have to say real quick, Devil's Luck. You're not going to see that because I don't think Gallad and Gawain are even going to be in the show. So sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're missing, just like Queen Morghese. There's no Elaine. There was no time in Camelin. There's no love story with Rand falling off the wall.
Yeah,
all of it.
Well, and
gone.
my whole theory about Gallad and Gawain is because I mean they've cast Elaine and they're filming season 2. There's been that would be a major casting announcement for the brothers and Gareth Bryan for that matter. And you've heard crickets, nothing. So I think they're gone.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think they're going to. Oh God, what are they going to do with Gawain and Rand's relationship? Where's that going?
They'll take.
She's gonna.
They will take what happened in the book. Yeah, they'll take what happened in the book. They'll take what happened in the book where they're young adults and Rand and Egwene agree that there's nothing between them. And it's going to be just that simple. It's going to be what Rafe Judkins has given us through 8 episodes.
The reason for my question is once that is established, Egwene goes to the White Tower where she meets Gallad and Gawain, and then she's stricken with his beauty, meeting Gallad, but then actually has more in common with Gawain, and
they can't find any beautiful people that want to be in the show, so they can't cast Gallad or Lanfear. No, that's not fair. That's not. I'm being mean.
Prophet, you can take off whenever you need to. Thanks for the heads up. But okay. I have a prediction for Gallad.
Okay.
It's going to be a different gender than what we've seen so far.
Yeah, you're probably wrong. Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just saying.
No, I know
you just look at the empty check boxes that are left. And you know exactly what you're going to get in season 2. It's so predictable.
Do you think the brothers are going to be sisters?
You mean like the Wachowskis that made the Matrix movies? I don't know. I mean, sure.
I mean the brothers, Gawain and Gallad. You think they're going to be?
Nothing would surprise me. Again, look, if you're following along at home with your woke intersectional neo-Marxist bingo cards, there are squares that are not yet checked. Those squares will be checked.
They're going to make Gallad metrosexual. He's just going to be all ultra feminine, man.
There is the only way that Rafe Judkins could surprise me is to make a coherent narrative that is 20% better than what we got in season 1. Yeah. I would bet $100 he will fail to deliver something that's even 20% better.
Oh, I don't. Well, he's got a bigger budget apparently, so we'll see.
Well, you're starting at 0%, so the 20 shouldn't be that hard to achieve.
Well, he's going to go into the negative, so I wouldn't take that bet. So I wouldn't take that bet. There's no, yeah, 20% better. I think it's going to get worse if it can, uh, and it can. But
But
I think you guys know what I mean.
you know, I get into the details. I go off into the weeds quite a bit. And for me, Galad was such an important character because he's
Yes.
Galahad, and it's significant in Arthurian mythology, and he's not
Well,
just a throwaway character. He's actually
no, he's not.
necessary.
I mean, he's the Lord
Oh
Captain
yeah, he's a
Commander, for God's
manifest.
sake.
Yeah, he's also a manifestation from Dungeons and Dragons of the epitome of lawful good.
Yes.
Well,
Regardless of who hurts, regardless of who he hurts, who he loves, he has to follow the law to the letter.
well, then right,
You know?
and then he ends up, coming to terms with that a little bit towards the end. I mean,
Yeah.
and trying to even starts to realize that that's not even, you know, how things are. I mean, there's some gray in between right and wrong, and trying to form the white cloaks into what they should be instead of what they are.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Yep.
a lot to Galad, a ton to Galad, and they've just decided to make the white cloaks evil, evil, evil. I'm evil. We can kill Asedai somehow.
And which would be fine if the arc of the White Cloaks ended up where it ends up, but I have no faith that they're going to do this. I have no faith. At
No,
all.
they can't do that because in woke storytelling, in intersectional storytelling, men, like we all say, are either stupid or evil. So they cannot have character arcs or growth or redemption. They must be vilified and destroyed.
Stupid and
There
evil.
is no compromise. Yeah. Spartan 2-4, I want to call this out. Look at Star Trek Discovery. That is this Wheel of Time is, I would say, one stair, not a landing of stairs, literally one stair up from Star Trek Discovery. Season 2, it will step down to the same level as Star Trek Discovery. I would bet money on that.
Well,
What do you
was
guys
it you-
think?
Was it you, Mike, that said that you don't think Cameron's going to be in the story at all? You think Elaine's just going to pick up at the White Tower? Was that you that said that?
Well, I'm not saying that it'll never exist. Assuming that they finished. Okay, a big assumption. They actually complete the entire series. They cover all the material of 14 books.
Yeah.
It's going to be somewhere. It'll happen at some point.
Well,
but
yeah.
the storyline of Rand, Throne Room, Queen Morghese meeting Elaine, and if it doesn't happen in the next season, like Rand's gone off by himself, for example, they could very well write that he ends up in Camelin and meets Elaine. That could happen.
Gosh.
But I think instead they're going to bring Elaine directly to the White Tower.
Yeah,
And
I think that's probably
and
right.
and Elaine comes with her.
Yeah, I really think. I think you're probably right. I think Rand's just going to end up in the waste by himself.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean,
Did
ideally he should go to Camelin immediately. That'd be fun to see.
I did read something from I think it was actually my brother way before, was Rafe's the scene Rafe was most forward looking to shooting was Dumani Wells. Do you want to see a Rafe Judkins Dumani Wells?
Yes. No. Yes.
Guy, it literally hurts to read what he says. It hurts my soul.
I mean, yeah, I don't even know.
I honestly,
Because the
there were
Astroman kills
times.
so many people there. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's no way it happens. No way.
Mm.
There were times before I developed a thick skin where through episode 1, 2, 3, 4, I was so angry I broke a remote for my TV.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I don't normally do that. I don't,
Well, I started yelling at the
it's
TV,
just-
so I'm right there with you.
I know. I scared my dog yelling at the TV, so then I just learned to go in my office and watch this on my laptop with headphones on, and have a sip of bourbon. But this show, it's the worst part of this is it hurts. I can't speak for you guys, and I can't speak for those of you in chat either. But in the same way that people who loved George Lucas's Star Wars, who loved the original Doctor Who, who loved, oh my God, Star Trek, the original trilogy, even Star Trek: The Next Generation, all of it. We loved those things. Those things kept us going through some difficult times. They were our old friends that we went to when we didn't have anybody else. And to see that these people are like vultures going in and stripping the carcasses of something beautiful and changing our collective memories and attachments to these beautiful things. I think that's the most irredeemable part
And they
of
stand
the
around
old
high
time.
fiving each other after they've done it.
Oh,
They're very,
Well, and then they
very
move
happy.
on. They move on to the next carcass, the next thing
Yeah.
to deface. You know,
Kneel
it's just
before-
like removing a
Yeah.
Now, you
statue
guys-
of
it
somebody.
just makes me,
You know,
it's just,
You guys
it
were
makes me-
talking. Yeah,
Go-
you guys
go
were talking
ahead, Matt.
about do my wells.
Yes.
Here's a scenario I want to throw out there, and let me know what you guys are going to think about this. So, Rand is put in a box. I'm trying not to. Well, I guess spoilers. We're into spoilers, right?
Yeah.
Rand is put into a box, and he's the box is opened once in a while, and he's beaten with the one power. This is a torture that he goes through. Being that he's a white male in a box being beaten, what do you think the people are going to be like that are going to be doing the beating? They are, like what kind of cast are they going to bring in to say, let it go, this guy is going to be tortured by the cast? Who can you even, like, you don't have to answer the question, but I'm just saying, like, just imagine in your head who it's going to be or what it's going to be that's beating the shit out of this guy every chance they get, and the anger look on their faces of not just that he's the dragon or that he thinks he's in charge or he thinks he's something else and let's teach him a lesson, but more the politics of those that are making the show, what they're going to put into that scene.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
pretty,
It's not going to be pretty.
yeah,
It's not going to
no.
be pretty at all. and they're probably drooling over the
yeah.
opportunity to show fans exactly
To just
what
beat
where
up, to just beat the ever living hell out of him with,
Yeah.
I think that's and there was, I think it was, I can't pronounce her name, but man, I would love to have seen just, and you're never gonna see it, but Tame that line, kneel before the Lord Dragon, or you will be knelt.
that's deleted. That's
Never
deleted.
gonna be in it.
No.
Never
No.
gonna be in it. And it's just like that's
And,
such a great
I-
line. It
I-
gives me chills every time.
I want to shout out our mod Zax for keeping the bots at bay. He has a thankless job, has ever. Kyle Zax is there for us, and Zax, I want to shout you out. Thank you. He does this out of the goodness of his own heart, and I just, let's give Zach an F in the chat. Say a big thank you. He's a
how you
solid
feel,
dude.
man?
Thank
You're
you.
being botted. You're in the big time.
Mm-hmm. Where do you guys think the ratings are of this show now that the season's over? It was at 82% audience score the last time we did a stream.
Yeah, I want to see this. Then I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to bolt. But I want to
Okay.
see where we're
Yeah,
at.
let me
Because
see if I can share it.
from what I saw from when they were headed downwards, I thought. Well, I know it was a downwards decline. I don't know where it's at. So I'd be interested to see.
I do have it shared, Boss Man.
Oof.
Yeah, that fell since last week when I last looked. It was at, what was it, 74, 72%.
I was making a video earlier where I was discussing this very thing as a follow-up to my previous video on the actual reviews on these sites and how I don't trust them. And it was at 69% as I started the video, and then I refreshed the page to get something, and it dropped down a point since I started. So, yeah. I keep refreshing it thinking it'll hit 67, but yeah.
Probably wake up in the morning, it'll be there.
Yeah, and then if you just look at this, I mean, you'll get like the 5-star reviews, but you're starting to get real reviews. 2 stars, a half a star, 2 stars, 2 stars. You're starting
Well, that's
to get
all I
people
ever
actually
saw.
showing up.
Yeah,
3 stars.
That's
3.
all I ever saw in there. Honestly,
Oh,
when I go and
saw
look at the audience.
I saw 1 and 5, like 1s and 5s.
Well, and you can notice any of the 1s are paragraphs. Any of the 5s are like one-liners for the most part. I mean, there's a
they're
reason
cut
for
and
that.
paste.
Yeah, and there was let's see here. There's 4,411. There was 4,405 when last I looked. And when you compare like Legend of the Seeker, you have only 55 people that ever bothered
Oh my
to
God.
do season 1. and it's at 88%. So I'm not sure what to think about that. The Shannara Chronicles, which I've been watching. Oh God, I need to finish it now. 650 people at 72% audience score. The Game of Thrones has 7,600 viewers or reviews, 96%. So
Can you do Witcher? Let's do apples to apples.
okay, yeah, let's do Witcher.
Witcher
Yeah.
season 1, I think was at, God, I want to say it was 88%, or maybe I'm wrong. The critic score was at 64, 68 for season 1, and of course I did a video on it where now this season I think it was 94.
Okay, I have to go
Oh, yeah, there it is.
I have to hit season 1 here.
Season 1. Yep.
91%.
Look at that.
20,000 people have checked
Yep.
in on this one.
And how many
Wow.
of it was for Wheel of Time? You said under 5,000?
4,000 something.
Yeah, 4,400
Dude.
and something, 11.
Just by numbers, you can tell there was no.
Okay, let's do
enthusiasm
season 2.
for the
But let's
show.
look season 2 because
Yeah,
that's
season 2.
That's
Yeah,
more
season
fair.
2.
Okay.
I think, but still, I mean, Witcher season 1's been out for a while, but you also got to remember that I think a lot of your reviews just came in at
62%. 62%
Yeah.
people hate it.
3,000 already.
Yep, 3,000.
Yeah. Yeah. Your sophomore slump is a pretty common thing in TV shows. I do want to do a live stream on The Witcher and bring on up some other people that we haven't spoke with before. If there's
Again, though,
anyone in chat-
most of these, both for Wheel of Time and everything else, people if they don't think it follows the book, they immediately give it a 0
Yeah,
or
see,
1 or
that's-
whatever.
see,
They give it
I-
low
look,
scores. Worst
I
book
was
adaptation ever.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. There was I don't know. I was willing to give Wheel of Time a shot and hope that even if they didn't follow the book word for word, they did some creative things.
Mhm.
So it doesn't have to follow the book word for word, but at least has to, you know.
Oh, I would give The Witcher season 2 much higher. Which myself, I give it much higher than 62. I liked it. I mean, it's boring. There's some boring parts,
Yeah,
but at least it was
yeah.
well done. Boringness.
Yeah. Well,
At least the acting was okay, and the cinematography was good. The sound was good. Music was good. I mean, the women are pretty. The men are handsome. The whole deal. They actually tried.
it's
know.
problematic. It's problematic.
It's problematic. So I assume this will hit below 60. By the end of
oh yeah, it's headed.
I'd say a couple weeks. I give it 2 weeks. It'll be under 60.
Yeah. Agreed.
So. All right. Any
should wrap this
conclusions
up.
on? Yeah. Any conclusions on episode 8, which is kind of what we were here for? Anything about it that just kind of bugged the crap out of you? That
Oh, it's the whole
I mean,
damn thing.
but I mean,
The whole damn
specific.
thing.
Like, was there something that just like
Well, I think that they didn't.
that throw the
I don't know.
throw the remote at the TV moment? You just were like, that's it. I can't do
Oh,
this.
I don't see. I don't know that I had it necessarily a throw the TV. Oh God, actually, that's not true because there was the whole because I was sort of at the same place you guys were. It was like episode 7. I just laughed my ass off through the whole episode. So I was like, oh man, I got from I care a lot and I'm yelling to laughing pretty quick. So I thought episode 8 was going to be a lot of that. And you know what, the throw remote moment was right at the beginning. I mean, getting Louis Theron wrong.
Oh right. Mm-hmm.
I mean, from there I was off on ahead, just full steam ahead. I mean, it just got just tumbled down the hill from there like it warp speed. I mean,
Yeah.
From that to the Horn of Valir being under yeah.
What about you, Corey? You got anything that just really that was highlighted?
I honestly, that's why I brought up Ohek's comment. I mean, I'll start at the end.
They hated that girl.
The ship's
so
showing
mad.
up. Again, it's creating needless complexity of the story. These characters aren't built to handle the threat that's coming. We all know in the books what Nynaeve and Egwene do, and this is just sloppy as hell. But to answer your question, Mike, and then I do have to split. It had to do with that whole dream where the Dark One comes to Rand, and then Rand kills himself.
Yeah.
In the dream.
For me, it
And-
was. Oh, okay. Sorry.
No, and I was just going to say, and I know I'm going to say this wrong, but I think it's telarandaroid. When you're in the dream state between worlds, what happens in that plane physically comes back with you to your waking moments. So Rand killing himself in a dream would have meant he would have been dead in the real world. And that just pissed me off more than I can say.
Matrix Wheel of Time, I think.
Yep. Yeah. My moment was the women defeating all the Trollocs linked together, burning themselves out, that whole thing. That just made me angry. They took that away from Rand, and they did that. That made me. And I want to say real quick about the Sanshin that landed there, the big tidal wave. The tidal wave was doing nothing. It didn't. There was nothing there for it to destroy. Just a little girl making clams. Now, there's a really cool screenshot opportunity there where the girl's facing the wave coming in. She's like standing there. I want to say, if you guys out there are graphics artists or at least have some Photoshop skills, I would like to see Cthulhu coming like out of the wave or inside the wave, where you can kind of make out his shape as he comes in to like try to get the girl. I think that would be a really badass wallpaper to have. But yeah, that'd be kind of neat. But anyways, that's up to you guys out there to try to make that happen. With that, I guess we should wrap this up and head on out to face the real world.
Yeah.
I'm going to let you guys go. Prophet, you were our guest tonight. Everybody, give him a round of applause. Go subscribe to his channel. He's a solid dude. Prophet of the Dragon, shout out your channel.
Well, I mean, Prophet of the Dragon, just right now, Wheel of Time stuff. When I get a chance. It started off pretty much as a rage channel, so we'll see if I can make it into something. But I appreciate all the support from all you and everybody that's had me on their channels as of late. Hopefully, I've had some thoughts and some engaging conversation for you guys to bounce off of. So I appreciate you guys having me. It's been fun.
My pleasure, man.
Thanks
Always
for
a
showing
pleasure.
up.
Yeah.
Mike, shout out your channel, OBG70.
Yes, I'm trying. I have no idea how close I am. I haven't looked in a couple days, but I'm trying to get to 500 by New Year's. If anyone can help me out, that would be appreciative. The link should be down in the description. Otherwise, it's OBG70 on YouTube. Please like and follow.
Brilliant. And I am Corey DB. The channel is Salty Texas Sea. I am approaching 1,200 subscribers. Again, thanks to everybody for doing that. Thanks to everybody who showed up in the chat. Thank you very much for the $5 super chat. I'm still kind of learning how to do some of this stuff. So if I boomer, laugh at me, call it out. But tell your friends to come check me out, as well as OBG70 and Prophet of the Dragon. I am going to take us out. I got to jump around here. I'm going to take us out. For those of you who didn't see my intro for live streams, I am going to drop it here and then we'll close out the stream. But if I don't live stream before then, I want to wish everybody a very happy New Year. If it's one thing all of us, regardless of where we sit politically or any other ways, deserve, it is a very peaceful, fun 2022. Hail to the chat.
Here.
Hail to Zach. Mike, love you, man. Prophet, take it easy. I'm going to take us out.
He doesn't love you. He doesn't love you.
Yeah, nobody loves me. It's okay. I am the
I
Prophet.
love
It's
you,
more.
Prophet. I love you.
It's more of a. It's an infatuation.
I love you, chat.
It's an infatuation. I'm infatuated.
It's okay. I'll watch.
Everybody,
Lambo.
Enjoy the outro. Take it easy. We'll talk soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys.